Good evening, everyone. Randy Schiffman along with Charlie Washington bringing you IPFW college basketball. Tonight, the Dons playing an intra-city rival, the Indiana Tech Warriors. We're just a couple of minutes away from tip-off. Real fast, Charlie. This has been a good rivalry over the years, but the Dons have controlled it lately. Before you answer that question, though, we're going to go down to Mark Banger, our public address announcer. We're going to hear the national anthem and then get both starting lineups first. In fact, we'll get the starting lineup for Indiana Tech.
And your IPFW Mastodons. I have a couple of general announcements. There is a Sunbird in the parking lot with Ohio plates. Your lights are on. Also, the taped replay of this evening's IPFW basketball game will be shown on Channel 6 Sunday evening, March the 17th, beginning at 7 o'clock. Also, don't forget to register for the Glenbrook Dodge Hyundai Shootout and the Sizzler Shootout coming up at halftime of this game. And now the starting lineups. First for the visiting team from Indiana Tech. At one guard, a 6'2" junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 20, Matt Claus. At the other guard, a 6'1" senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 22, Richard Rutland. At the center position, a 6'6" senior from Canal Fulton, Ohio, number 44, Tim Hose. At one forward, a 6'3" junior from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 24, Eric Ellis. And at the other forward, a 6'3" senior from Naples, Florida, number 33, Rex Carroll. Indiana Tech is coached by Dan Klein. He is assisted by Tharnell Hollins. And now the starting lineup for the IPFW Mastodons. At one guard, a 5'10" freshman from Greenwood, Indiana, number 4, Jeff Smithy. At the other guard, a 5'11" senior from Bloomfield, Indiana, number 10, Mike Pittman. At the center position, a 6'8" sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 44, Doug Reinke. At one forward, a 6'1" junior from Detroit, Michigan, number 12, Clarence Rich. And at the other forward is 6'7" sophomore from Lanesville, Indiana, number 41, Sean Gibson. IPFW is coached by Andy Piazza, and he is assisted by John Felsky. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we honor the Stars and Stripes of America, may we please stand and take a moment of silence to offer up our prayers and thoughts going out to our troops and the troops of the Allied forces serving in the Persian Gulf as the ground war has begun today. And now for our national anthem.
You know, Charlie, we're talking about it. It's been a pretty good series. One thing I want to mention tonight is it looks like more like it's a home game for Indiana Tech than for IPFW. The Warriors have brought a lot of fans here tonight, and plenty more streaming in right now.
Well, I think they were given the right time with this basketball game, which is 7:30, and I think the IPFW fans were thinking along the terms of 8 o'clock. So hopefully at around 8 o'clock, more IPFW fans will be rolling in.
Though I think we may have a few people at home watching Indiana against Iowa tonight.
That could be also, Randy. We talked a lot about this great rivalry that's been going on. It had cooled down the 4 years prior to the Andy Piazza era, but since he's been here, he's rekindled this rivalry, and it's been a great rivalry since then, the last 3 to 4 years.
Dons lead the series 11 games to 10, have won the last 4, including an 8-point win in the tip-off tournament this year. The tip-off tonight goes to Indiana Tech. Look for number 22, Richard Rutland, to put up a lot of shots tonight. He averages over 24 a game, the all-time leading scorer in Warriors history. He takes the first shot of the game, tipped from behind, and it goes way short off the glass. And IPFW quickly on offense. Jeff Smithy driving in against Rutland, pulls it back out. Now it's Reinke. Fakes once, goes up, can't get it, but he tips in his own shot. You know, Charlie, another interesting fact tonight, this is probably the only game I've seen this year where IPFW has the size advantage.
Exactly. I'm sure it's a welcome addition to be away from that GLVC meat grinder.
Mike Pittman with a nice steal. He gets the layup, and the Dons quickly take a 4-point lead. We're not even a minute into the game. Could see a high-scoring affair out here tonight. Warriors having a great year in the NAIA division, 19-7 right now. Dons coming in at 12-10 overall. Inside block by Reinke. But they say Eric Ellis was fouled by Reinke. That looked like a pretty good block. Reinke's first, team's first. Ellis will be at the line shooting 2. Ellis is the third leading scorer on the team, averages just over 12 points a game for the Warriors. There you see the block by Reinke. They say he got him with the body. First free throw goes way up in the air and right through.
Randy, that is the kind of foul that you don't mind Doug Reinke getting. He went up strong. It was not one of those ticky-tacky fouls that he usually gets early in a basketball game. So that, although you don't want him to get in foul trouble, that was a good foul by Reinke.
Ellis hits them both, and he arcs them as high as anyone I've seen arc a free throw. And the Dons lead is now 4-2. Sean Gibson's got it way up top into the corner. Clarence Rich. Now it's inside to Doug Reinke. He maneuvers. Good move by Reinke. And the easy layup. Boy, did he fake out Tim Hose on that play. Rex Carroll dealing now. He goes inside. Can't get it to fall. Tries to get his rebound. He can't, of course. Carroll played out here. And Rex would like to have a good game against his former mates.
Exactly. This is 2 games in a row where I'm watching 2 guys that I played with, so I'm feeling real young.
Richard Rutland hits his first shot of the night. I can guarantee you that won't be his last. And now it's IPFW 6, Indiana Tech 4. We've played 2 minutes of the ball game. Mike Pittman for 3. He's got it. Dons go up 5. Biggest lead of the game, 9-4. Warriors working it around the outside. Again, much smaller than IPFW. Ellis gets it inside, though, against Smithy. And at 6'3", Eric Ellis has no problem posting up Jeff Smithy. He's got about 6-inch advantage on him. Clarence Rich now for 3 the other way. That's no good, and Rex Carroll gets the rebound. The Warriors could tie it up with a tray to pull within 1 with the regular shot. Klaus outside over to Rutland. Rutland gets the pick from Hose, doesn't take the 3-pointer, gets it over to Ellis. Inside Hose, can't hold it, saves the ball. No, that's going to go out of bounds to IPFW. Tony Martin coming in for the Dons. Clarence Rich goes out. The Dons really getting some beef in there now. And number 40, Victor Bush, a 6'3" forward from Indianapolis, checks in for the Warriors. Number 44, Tim Hose going out. So the Warriors get smaller. The Dons get a little bigger on that exchange. Check out, that's number 40, Kenny Lewis coming in. Mike Pittman hits the shot. Dons go up 5, 11-6. Calling a block on Sean Gibson there, his first, team's second. Played 3 minutes and 16 seconds of the first half. IPFW leading right now, 11-6. Richard Rutland got the ball closely guarded by Tony Martin. Rex Carroll going inside. Passes it over to Klaus. He moves in over to Rutland. Fakes the three. Now he tries the two. Little strong. Sean Gibson gets the rebound. Bounces it off of Rex Carroll. And the Dons will get the ball out of bounds.
What I think IPFW needs to do tonight against this Tech team, Randy, is make them play defense and also make them play offense on the other end.
Smithy with the three-pointer. And all of a sudden, the Dons are up 8, 14-6. And Dan Klein says, I need a timeout, and I need it right now. Good timeout, I think, by the coach there, Charlie. You don't want to fall behind by double digits.
No, you do not. Again, what I was alluding to a little earlier as you watch Jeff Smithy knock down that three-point shot.
Good play by Martin there, penetrating and setting up the three-pointer.
Exactly. This Indiana Tech team does not like to play defense, nor do they like to play offense. They like to get up and down the court, get some quick shots, get it in a helter-skelter pace, and just get things an ugly game. And then they look good in an ugly game. IPFW, on the other hand, on the offensive end, has to run some offense, make these guys play defense, and then set their defense on the defensive end and make these guys run their offense, which they are not comfortable.
I think we're going to see IPFW try to use its size advantage tonight, go inside to Reinke and Gibson. And also, I would not be surprised to see John Honstrider in there pretty soon. He has played terrific basketball the last month or so.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hitting almost 70% of his shots.
He played very well against Tech earlier this year in that tournament.
Ellis looking for the shot inside against Reinke. Reinke gets a piece of it, no foul. And Gibson comes down with the ball. Quickly, Jeff Smithy. He's got Pittman in the corner. He'll try the three-pointer, and he hits the three-pointer. That's Mike's second of the game. He's got 8 points, and the Dons lead it by 11. 17-6. Tech having a little trouble with the offense right now. Rutland leans in. They're going to call him for the travel. Did a nice move to get Doug Reinke in the air, but then Richard Rutland just had nowhere to go, Charlie. Quickly, Reinke alone down court, misses the dunk. Blocked by Rex Carroll. Great defensive play. Reinke thought he had the easy one. Comes up empty, and on the other end, Kenny Lewis hits the short jumper. And the Dons now lead at 17-8. Tony Martin is fouled by Eric Ellis there. Can't believe Reinke missed that dunk. He wasn't in real good position. He was standing flat-footed, Charlie. I think he might have want to lay that one off the glass.
And he was a little casual with it also.
A little casual?
Just a little casual with that.
It's like saying a hurricane's a bad rain. Here you'll see Reinke wide open underneath. And he doesn't think Carroll's going to try to block it, but as we didn't get to see there, Carroll did block it. Sean Gibson almost took the three-pointer. Now it's inside to Reinke. Back out to Pittman. He drives on Klaus. Nowhere to go, over to Reinke. That time Doug makes a little half hook. I think that's 6 for Reinke already.
6 for Reinke, 10 already for Mike Pittman.
10 for Pittman?
10 for Pittman.
He is on fire. Dons lead it by 11.
2 deuces.
Rex Carroll in and out. Just couldn't get it to fall. The Dons have a 4-on-2 cooking here. Smithy to Rich, knocked away, and Ellis comes away with the steal. Good defense there by the Warriors.
Last time down, Rex Carroll put a little bit too much mustard on the hot dog that time.
Had a great movement. Did about a 360 around the rim, just wouldn't fall. Ellis back out to Carroll. Carroll drives inside, lays it off. Hose has his shot blocked by Sean Gibson, but Gibson commits his second personal foul. That's 3 team fouls, 2 again on Gibson. And John Honstrider's going to check in. I think Sean Gibson's going to have to take a seat, and that really hurts the Dons, Charlie. Sean Gibson, one of the best rebounders in the country. Reinke also going out. Pat Murphy checks in. Doug, and also Dwayne Shears, number 23, who had a great game on Saturday night. He checks in too. And Jeff Smithy goes out.
Shears shot 6 for 8 3-point shots Saturday night.
Hose hits 1 out of 2, and the lead is now 10-19-9 IPFW. Yeah, Shears had a tremendous game in what I think was the best game I have seen in a long time. IPFW's win on Saturday night.
Great all-around
Knocking off
effort.
Bellarmine, the number 6 team in the nation. In overtime, 92-89. That was a great one. Honstrider, nice pass to Rich, who whips it over to Murphy. Clarence maybe should have shot that ball, but Pat Murphy comes up with the layup. Again, the Dons really have a big size advantage, and Dan Klein uses his second timeout, and we haven't even played 6 minutes of the ball game. Very unusual, Charlie, for a coach to call 2 timeouts this early, isn't it?
Exactly. I don't know. He's seen something that he's not liked to call 2 timeouts this quick in the basketball game.
Well, the interior defense has not been very good, as you see Pat Murphy making the shot. Doug Reinke's got 6 already. Surprisingly, the Dons getting a lot of points inside, but none from Sean Gibson so far.
Yeah, and Sean's coming off a great weekend last week, well, both on Thursday and Saturday, and has been playing great the last few weeks.
Yeah, Sean was the co-player of the week in the GLVC. And Richard Rutland is the guy who's got to get it going for the Warriors. He averages over 24 a game. And Rex Carroll, 19 a game. And right now, Rutland's got a basket. I think, what, Carroll maybe has 1 as well.
Exactly.
They need to get those guys involved in the offense.
What's happening, they don't need the offense. I think this is the type of team where they get in the open court and when they create their own shots off the break and off their defense, they're a better basketball team than when they have to set up their offense.
Well, you were right about the crowd. It is in the last 15 minutes, it's picked up a lot in here. Seen a few more Dons fans. Still, I say let's see, we're going to take a quick look here. I say the Tech fans outnumber the Dons fans about 3-2 tonight. So this is almost like a neutral court game.
Exactly.
Almost like a neutral court kind of
both
game.
These 2 teams hailing from Fort Wayne. Tech actually has much more Fort Wayne ball players than the IPFW basketball
Campus is
team.
about a stone's throw apart.
Yeah.
You know how far that is? Well, how far can you throw a stone? The left troop humor there for our fans out watching tonight. Rex Carroll doesn't have it, but Matt Klaus tries a 3. He doesn't make it either. Carroll, nice rebound. Misses with the left-handed finger roll. Clarence Rich stolen away by Carroll, who gets the jam. Clarence did not see Rex lurking in the shadows. Rex might have missed a shot, but he got a terrific steal in the dunk there, and that wakes up the crowd. 21-11. Dons lead it by 10. Mike Pittman over to Dwayne Shears. Dwayne's confidence really picking up the last week or 2. Starting to play like the 25-point-a-game scorer he was in junior college. Pat Murphy gets it out to Shears. Now Pittman still 20 on the shot clock. Pittman drives in, nowhere to go. Out to Honstrider inside Pat Murphy. He can't get a handle on it. And it's finally stolen away by Richard Rutland. Here comes the running game for the Warriors. Rutland takes the shot from the free throw line, gets it to fall. That's how you become the leading scorer in school history, when you get shots like that to drop.
And that's the type of opportunities in which Tech works best in those types of conditions, Randy, off the steals and off the open court shots.
Much easier to score when the other team doesn't get a chance to set up its defense. Pat Murphy wheeling and dealing on the inside, can't get it to fall, but stolen away by Clarence Rich. Tim Hose had the rebound, he lost it, and Seabiscuit in there with the quickest hands this side of the Mississippi. Can't make the layup, but man, did he get hammered. Nice move here by Pat Murphy. Just doesn't go. You see Hose can't hold on to the rebound. There's Clarence Rich. Blocked away by Eric Ellis. He picks up his second foul. Also 2 on the team. And it'll be Clarence Rich at the line shooting 2. Jason Klein checks in now for the Warriors. Also coming in, number 42, Victor Bush. Ellis takes a seat, and so does Matt Klaus. For IPFW, Kevin Shank making his first appearance of the night. And Jeff Smithy has come back in the lineup as well. Clarence Rich hits 1 out of 2. Dons lead it 22-13. 12.5 minutes to go in the first half. Rex Carroll cross court to Rutland. Inside, it's stolen away by Clarence Rich. Just rips it away from Tim Hose, who's almost a foot taller, but stolen right back by Rutland, and now stolen away by IPFW. Looks more like a tennis match out there, or maybe volleyball, like we were watching last night with IPFW against Ball State. The Dons getting only their second win ever over Ball State in 35 tries. Congratulations to Arnie Ball in his game. Honstrider's got to do something with it out there. Kevin Shank He's due for a shot. I don't think he took one in the last ball game.
No.
Now it's Jeff Smithy with 15 on the shot clock. Over to Hanstrider, nice pass inside of Gibson, but it's tipped away. And terrific play by Jason Klein. He was going out of bounds. He went high in the air, whipped it off of Sean Gibson. Bounces off of Gibson out of bounds.
And Sean has Spalding spiraled across him.
Downs
right
have 6 players on the court now. Andy Piazza, the coach, standing out right by where it says IPFW. Now he takes a seat. They never call a technical on that, though. I don't think I've ever seen that called on a coach. Give him a warning sometimes. Good move inside by Victor Bush, but he misses the shot. And Hanstrider comes down with it. I'll tell you, Indiana Tech is getting some quality chances right now, just not getting the shots to fall, but the Warriors getting them from good position, and usually you'll start making those later in the game. I think we're going to have Tim Hose going over the back of John Hanstrider, his first team's third. Isn't that one of the things you've got to worry about as a coach, Charlie, that where the team is shooting from, not whether it's going to fall, because you figure sooner or later the law of averages catches up and you're going to start making about half of those shots.
Yes, and Coach Piazza has to be concerned right now a little bit about the pace of this game, because it's heading more and more towards an Indiana Tech pace.
Jeff Smithy driving inside, no good, and Hose cleans off the glass. 22-13. IPFW leading Indiana Tech right now. 10:50 to go in the first half. Victor Bush with it outside to Rutland from the free throw line. Perfect. Richard Rutland starting to heat up. 22-15. Dons lead the Warriors by 7. I believe Rutland's got a quick 6. Hanstrider outside to Smithy, back into John. Left-handed hook, no good. Hanstrider on the follow. Gets it to go. Good hustle there by John Hanstrider, staying with it.
John may have been a little bit too far outside for that left-handed jump hook that time, but he did do a great job.
Well, he and Sean Gibson have really perfected that shot second half of the season. Victor Bush on the inside gets the feed in the bucket, and it's a 7-point ball game. IPFW out in front of Indiana Tech. Pace really picking up here, as Charlie just pointed out. The kind of pace that Indiana Tech wants to see. Jeff Smithy for 3, no good. And they say he was standing out of bounds when he caught the pass, so it wouldn't have counted anyways. Turnover. Kenny Lewis coming back in, number 40. Number 44, Tim Hose, sits down for the Warriors. Setting the lineups right now for Indiana Tech, you've got Rex Carroll, Jason Klein, Richard Rutland. Number 42 is Victor Bush. And number 40, Kenny Lewis for IPFW. It's Clarence Rich and Mike Pittman out front. Kevin Shank, Pat Murphy, and Sean Gibson on the front line. Jason Klein driving inside, has it knocked out of bounds by Clarence Rich. Really is out to look out there tonight, Charlie, and see IPFW with the big team.
Yeah, the GLVC that they see night in and night out usually feels a much larger team than this Indiana Tech team is showing right now. Indiana Tech, a smaller, more athletic team, though.
Richard Rutland for 3, just misses. Kevin Shank with the rebound. You know, you watch Southern Indiana with Mutombo and some of those other guys, and even Bellarmine the other night. They're as big as NBA teams out there.
Right.
Mike Pittman, he has been, I believe he's perfect tonight. That's 13 points for Mike Pittman. 3 3-pointers. Dons up by 10 now, 27-17. Rutland from the corner, a little strong. Good rebound, though, by Kenny Lewis, and he puts it right back in. Great play by Lewis. 8-point lead, IPFW, 27-19. Sean Gibson outside tries the 3, way short. Kevin Shank can't control the rebound. It goes out of bounds off of Shank. I'll tell you, right now, if I'm Andy Piazza, I want to see Mike Pittman shooting a lot. When a guy's hot, you got to keep going with him, and Pittman could not be any hotter than he is right now.
And what you also have to do is rinse some clock and swing that ball back and forth and set Pittman up for that 3-point shot.
A couple of more substitutions for the Warriors of Indiana Tech. Eric Ellis comes back in at number 34, Mark McGraw, who's from right here in Fort Wayne, making his first appearance of the evening. Clarence Rich with the deflection underneath. Pat Murphy knocks the ball out of bounds. It'll stay with Indiana Tech. 32 on the shot clock for the Warriors. 8:40 to go in the first half from IPFW. The Dons leading it right now, 27-19 over the Warriors. Inside, Kenny Lewis with the shot, no good. Pat Murphy, I believe, was held by Mark McGraw. That's why Pat couldn't move for the rebound. That's what the refs say, too. First foul on McGraw. Fourth team foul on Indiana Tech. Neither team close to the limit right now. IPFW with only 3 team fouls. Kevin Shank blows by the defense. Gets the pass about a half second too late to Pat Murphy. He was wide open. But Shank waited a little too long, and Victor Bush was able to get a hand on the ball and knock it out of bounds.
And you have to figure, Randy, a bounce pass may get through there.
Exactly right. I bet you watched Red on Round Ball when you were little, because he was always expounding that theory. Sean Gibson goes up for the shot, and he gets fouled by Kenny Lewis, who got an awful lot of ball on that one. Gibson might have left his feet a little too early. You see the pass by Clarence Rich. Comes inside to Sean. Spins around. Goes up strong. Not much of a foul, but it is one on Kenny Lewis, his first, team's 5th. Sean Gibson at the line shooting 2. I don't believe Gibson scored tonight, has he?
He's shooting for his first point.
And he still hasn't scored. This is the leading scorer on IPFW's team this year. Also the leading rebounder.
Sean, in just his second year here at IPFW, putting his name permanently in the record books quite a number of times.
And he's going to have a lot of records before he's through with his 4 seasons. Sean takes a seat after hitting the second free throw. Tony Martin comes in. So now it's the Dons going with the smaller lineup. Dwayne Shears has also checked back in. Surprised he hasn't been able to put up a shot yet, as well as he was shooting on Saturday night against Bellarmine. Dons lead it by 9, 28-19. And Dwayne Shears picks up a silly foul way out away from the basket against Jason Klein. Shears' his first 14 fouls on IPFW. And the Dons lead at 28-19, 8:11 to go in the first half. Glad you're with us on College Cable Access Channel 6. IPFW hosting Indiana Tech this evening. Battle for city bragging rights, basically. I think St. Francis had them early in the season, but now it's definitely between these two. St. Francis not playing very well late.
Exactly, and IPFW trying to avoid the hat trick, and that is losing to St. Francis, Huntington College, and also Indiana Tech.
Eric Ellis hits the short jumper, pulls the Warriors within 7, 28-21. Clarence Rich might have dribbled it out of bounds, but it is not called, and there's Pat Murphy inside, gets it to go. Pat Murphy, after not playing for a long stretch, has played quite a bit the last couple of games and has played rather well. Keep it up, and you'll keep playing. The only guy who hasn't been playing is Sam Long, who I don't think he's taken his warm-up off either. Clarence Rich comes away with the steal. Don's looking to go to a double-digit lead here. Tony Martin outside to Murphy, trying the 17-footer. A little out of Pat's range there. And they're going to get Tony Martin for going over the back on the rebound. That's Martin's first 5 team fouls. Pat Murphy takes a seat. He's replaced by Doug Rankin. Rex Carroll also checking back in for Indiana Tech, and Mark McGraw goes out. I think there's a bit of a resemblance between Jason Klein and head coach Dan Klein of Indiana Tech. Father-son combination out here. Ellis driving in, no good with the shot. Comes way outside to Klein, though. Rex Carroll over his head, gets it to Ellis. Carroll inside, blocked out of bounds. You know, the offense for the Warriors a little different, Charlie. I noticed when Richard Rutland is not in the ball game, because they look for him to shoot a lot, and other guys score off of his misses, rebounds, etc.
Exactly.
A little stagnant right now, the Warriors. Rex Carroll wants the ball. I'm surprised he's not putting it up a little more. Now he's driving inside, gets the shot, no good. Wanted the foul against Clarence Rich, but it wasn't called. Here comes Rich. Got Dwayne Shears wide open on the other side, didn't see him, and Rex Carroll comes away with another steal. Carroll playing some terrific defense in this first half for the Warriors. Only 6 minutes to go, Dons lead it, 30-21. Talk about some good defense. Doug Reinke with textbook defense against Kenny Lewis. Never left his feet. But Lewis steals it, coming back the other way. And here comes Jason Klein.
Again, an Indiana Tech pace right now, Randy.
Stutter step. Dwayne Shears thought he had a steal, but he's got a foul instead. That'll be his second. 16 fouls on IPFW. Now Andy Liebert coming in. So it is official. Everybody has played so far for IPFW except Sam Law. Here you see the steal. And Klein gets hit right there by Dwayne Shears. Richard Rutland back in for Indiana Tech. Tony Martin gets the steal. Boy, ball's bouncing back and forth like a yo-yo tonight. Smithy getting some pressure from Klein. He breaks it. Liebert inside, puts up the soft jumper, draws nothing but air. And it's Kenny Lewis coming away with the ball. We have not seen any scoring for the last couple of minutes. Both teams very cold in this first half. Rutland's going to take a shot, I have a feeling. He does, and it's good, but it doesn't count. They're going to get Ritchie for the offensive foul. His first 6 on the Warriors. Watch Rutland, just lowers the shoulder against number 20, Andy Liebert. See him get the ball right there. Fakes the shot, and there's the shoulder. Back with you live now, Jeff Smithy gets fouled in the corner. And he's going to get to shoot a couple one-on-one. Was that his 17 fouls now? No, now they're saying no foul.
This inner city rivalry is starting to get a little heated, and the referees are trying to take control of it right now, which is a good gesture.
Smithy and Klein mixing it up a little there. No, that was a foul. They called the foul on Jason Klein. We just saw the foul there. What they didn't like was how Jeff Smithy sort of threw the ball into Klein's chest after the refs blew the whistle. They say, hey, we're the refs, we'll take control. They're talking to the coaches right now. Andy Piazza getting an earful from the referee. That was the first personal foul on Jason Klein. 17 fouls on the Warriors. So Jeff Smithy will be at the line shooting 1-1. Now you see Dan Klein saying, what's the deal here? How come no technical on Smithy for slamming the ball off of Jason's chest? The referee must be telling them they're both talking a little trash. Basketball players do that occasionally, don't they, Chuck?
Just occasionally.
Yeah. Smithy hits the first, so he'll get another try. That's the first point we've seen in 2 or 3 minutes.
Seen a lot of action, though, just no points.
Smithy hits them both, and with 5 minutes to go in the first half, the Dons lead it by 11, 32-21. IPFW with a little pressure now. Ellis thought about the three, doesn't take it. Inside, though, Kenny Lewis, another left-handed J off the glass. He's having a very good game off the bench for the Warriors. Keeping him in the ball game right now. Dons lead is 9. Dwayne Shears for 3. No good. And Doug Reinke with one of those rebounding over the back fouls. That's 2 on Reinke, 7 on the team. So Kenny Lewis will be at the line shooting a 1-on-1 for the Warriors. Here you see Shears trying to three-pointer. Like to see Dwayne trying that three, Charlie, especially after he hit 6 out of 8 Saturday night. Lewis hits the first free throw. John Honstrider coming back in the lineup. Doug Reinke going out. Don't want to see him pick up 3 in the first half. Mike Pittman and Clarence Rich will also go back in. And it's Andy Liebert and Dwayne Shears taking a seat alongside Andy Piazza and John Felsen. Lewis gets another free throw. And he gets that one to drop. The lead is now 7, IPFW 32. Indiana Tech 25. 4:30 to go in the first half. Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington bringing you IPFW basketball courtesy of College Cable Access Channel 6. Glad you're joining us on this Thursday night. Clarence Rich with the offensive foul. Put the shoulder right into Matt Klaus, number 20. That's his first. There's a player control foul, so no shots for Indiana Tech. If I'm Indiana Tech right now, Charlie, I want to get a couple of more baskets. Keep the lead, say 5-7 points going into halftime. Got to feel good about that. Lewis on the inside once again, misses this time, and it's Mike Pittman starting the 4-on-2. Gets it to Hanstrider in the middle underneath the Clarence Rich. She can't make the layup. Lewis can't control the rebound, though. Inside Tony Martin. He gets fouled. Boy, IPFW had the numbers there, but they did not run that break well. They were all bunched together in the middle.
Exactly. Right now, neither team playing particularly well, as you see on that break. Clarence Rich got caught a little bit too far underneath the basket to come back and stick that layup in.
Richard Rutland has just picked up his second personal foul. Right there, slapping on Tony Martin. 8 team fouls on Indiana Tech, so Martin at the line shooting the 1-and-1, hits the first. Conversely, we were just saying Indiana Tech wants to get it down to 5, maybe 7 at the worst. IPFW would like to see the lead go up to 10 or 12. Tony Martin way strong on the second one. And right now the Dons lead it by 8, 33-25. 3:40 to go in the first half. This is an important stretch right here, Charlie, for both teams. Rex Carroll driving inside, blocked by John Hanstrider. Great defense. Clarence Rich inside to Hanstrider. Can't control it, but Rich picks it back up. And Jeff Smithy will set up the offense with 30 on the shot clock.
Now this pace that we've seen the last couple of minutes, Randy, benefits IPFW.
Tony Martin had it knocked away, then tied up. Change of possession. It will go to IPFW. That's the first tie-up we've had today after the jump ball, which was won by Indiana Tech. So the Dons get this one. Mike Pittman looking for someone to throw it to, gets it to Smithy. John Hanstrider with the left hand, no, with the right. And he gets fouled by Kenny Lewis. Hanstrider taking it in very strong.
Good looking move by John there. Good spin back to the basket.
His offensive game has really developed this year. He's much more comfortable in the low post, and he's a lot stronger than he was a year ago. That is some banging going on underneath there. Lewis has picked up his second personal, 9 team fouls on Indiana Tech. They're going to call this a shooting foul, so Hanstrider's going to get a couple either way. He hits the first one.
If I had to have 2 points in the low post from this Mastodon team, I think I'm going to go to Hanstrider, even before Sean Gibson on the low post.
Very interesting. Man,
He's the strongest low post player on the Dons team.
Hanstrider gets them both to fall the same way. Clarence Rich going for the steal, gets the backcourt foul instead. So Indiana Tech will have a chance to cut into IPFW's 10-point lead with 3:06 to go in the first half. See Clarence going for the steal, just about had it. He was a shade late. 2 personal fouls on Clarence. And look who's checking into the lineup. Sam Long.
Mr. Long.
Picks up Clarence Rich because they don't want to see Clarence pick up 3 this half. Sam Long's got a fan club here, I'll tell you that.
Sarcastic applause from the crowd there.
I don't think so. I think Sam has a lot of fans. He had a great year last year. Just has not been able to get the shooting touch this year. Richard Rutland at the line. That's a surprise. He misses the free throw. But Tony Martin gets hit by his own man, Mike Pittman, on the rebound, and that's a travel. Rutland standing at the line. He thought it was a lane violation, but it's going to be out of bounds to Indiana Tech. And Pat Murphy now comes in, and Tony Martin goes out. Andy Piazza making them substitutions like Dean Smith tonight. They're going in and out, in and out. Rutland hits the jumper. 35-27. Dons lead it by 8. 2:50 to go in the first half. been a very fast-paced ball game, but not a high-scoring one. Both teams not shooting well. Mike Pittman had 13 early, hasn't shot since. Smithy misses the 3. Sam Long can't control the rebounds, out of bounds too. Indiana Tech. That's been a surprise too, Charlie. Mike Pittman, 3 3-pointers and a couple of 2-pointers in the first, 5 minutes of the ball game, and I don't know if he shot since then.
I don't think he has shot, and if he has, it's just been maybe one shot. When you have a player as hot as Mike Pittman was, you have to design plays, or maybe not even design plays, but funnel the ball his way.
There's Rutland on the inside, gets off the shot, doesn't fall, but they're going to call the foul on Mike Pittman before the shot. First on Pittman, 10 team fouls on IPFW. Charlie, it's your turn to explain the rule, the new rule.
As in the past, or as not in the past, when a team reaches 10 fouls in a half, each shot after that, after each foul, is 2 shots, as opposed to the old 1-and-1 rule at 7.
The 1-on-1 still comes into effect at 7, but now, as Charlie just said, on 10, you get 2, unless, of course, you were attempting a 3-point shot, then you get 3 free throws, also a new rule. Rutland hit the first, hits the second, and all of a sudden it's a 6-point lead for IPFW, 35-29. The Warriors whittling away at the lead. Mike Pittman's got it way outside, looking for a pick, doesn't get one. Almost got a 5-second count. John Honstrider over to Pat Murphy from 14 feet. It drops. Pat Murphy's picking up his game since he's getting a chance to play. Richie Rutland the other way, no good. Sam Long with the rebound. Great box out by Murphy. Smithy takes it all the way, doesn't get it to fall. Had Honstrider. He couldn't get him the ball. Smithy made the right move taking it in because the defender dropped back on Honstrider, but Smithy maybe should have gone to the left hand and used the glass here. Watch him go right down, Charlie. He definitely could have laid that one off the glass, which the coaches like you to see unless you're big enough to dunk it. And Jeff Smithy
go. For any young people watching that basketball game, do not do what Jeff Smithy just did. Always put that ball off the glass.
That may be why Jeff Smithy just takes a seat now next to Andy Piazza, and Kevin Shank comes in. And we've got a rebounding foul against the Dons. Number 50, John Honstrider. Again, there you see Smithy with the miss. Sam Long came back on the inbounds, couldn't get it to fall, but John Honstrider pushed number 44, Tim Hose, so he'll be at the line shooting 2 free throws because the Dons over the team limit of 10. Honstrider's got 1 personal foul, and Hose has a free throw. The second one is no good, and Pat Murphy, the Windex man, cleans the glass. Dons lead is 7, 37-30, under a minute and a half to go in the first half. Kevin Shank inside to Honstrider, and now he gets fouled by Hose. That'll be 10 team fouls on the Warriors, so now Honstrider will get a couple of freebies. A lot of pushing going on inside between Hose and Honstrider. Pat Murphy has also done his share of pushing tonight. Number 45, Scott Wilder, a 6'9" senior from Woodburn, checks in the lineup. As Hose sits down with 2 personal fouls, they don't want to see him pick up his 3rd in the last 122 of the first half. Honstrider misses his first charity toss.
And from the looks of the IPFW free throw alignment, it looks like they're setting up for the press as they have the 2 little men at the head of the free throw line there.
Honstrider's got to make the free throw. He does, and there's the press. You called it, Charlie. 8-point lead for IPFW, 38-30, 1:20 to go in the first half. No problem at all for the Warriors. They break it. Get it to Richard Rutland, who throws up the air ball. Got a nice feature for you at halftime. Coach's Corner with IPFW volleyball coach Arnie Ball, who's also the athletic director out here. Sam Long with the ill-advised move to the hoop. Charges, boy, he just lowered the shoulder there. That was a good call by the official. He just ran over the defender. Sam picks up his first.
As you stated, Randy, that was a very ill-advised move by Sam Long. Sam is definitely a good enough shooter to pull up and hit a little 6-foot bank shot, no problem in that situation.
Or you might want to try a little crossover dribble and just try to fake the man out instead of just bowling him over. Victor Bush has a slight contusion, I believe it's called, over the left eye, so he takes a seat. Rex Carroll back in, so is Eric Ellis. 1 minute to go in the first half. Dons lead it by 8, 38-30. Klaus says nowhere to go. Ellis, now it's Carroll, 20 seconds on the shot clock. And now they're going to call Sam Long with the blocking foul. Andy Piazza jumping off the seat, doesn't like that. Says, why do you call it one way on one end and the other way on this end of the court? Exactly. Carroll might have gotten away with a push. He
clearly stuck his elbow
had the right arm out. But Sam Long was moving too, so that's one of those that definitely can go either way. Carroll, no good on the first free throw. Almost called that one a little too quickly.
Rex Carroll, one of those basketball players that the only person who can keep him from being a good basketball player or great basketball player is Rex. Rex has all the tools, is ambidextrous, goes left, goes right, can jump out of the gym, decent shooter, can do just about everything decent. But sometimes Rex keeps Rex from being a great basketball player.
Maybe he should have a talk with himself.
Believe me, I've had many talks with Rex.
Don's playing for the last shot here. 20 seconds to go in the half. Shot clock has been turned off. 15 now. About time to get the offense in gear. Mike Pittman's got it. 10 seconds. Pittman wide open for the three. He's going to pump it and hit it. Mike Pittman, 16 points in the first half, 4 3-pointers. And that's how it's going to end. The Dons pull out to an 11-point lead on that three-pointer. 41-30. Charlie, I've never seen a guy score 16 points on as few shots as I've seen Mike Pittman take in this half.
I think he has not missed a shot. If he's missed any, it's been as few as one shot. He's played a great half, and all of his points have been well within the realm of the offense, so he's just doing a great job. And IPFW in the second half needs to funnel some of this offense or some of the plays towards Mike Pittman.
Yeah, too many times this year we've seen an IPFW guy hot in the first half, a Clarence Rich, a Mike Pittman, a Jeff Smithy, score maybe 12, 15 points, and then in the second half just go stone cold.
Exactly, and I hope this does not happen to Mike Pittman tonight, and I hope he recognizes, as well as the rest of this IPFW basketball team, recognizes the fact that he is on fire tonight, and to get him some picks and to get some plays ran to Mike Pittman.
And that three-pointer makes a big difference in the momentum because Rex Carroll had just missed 2 free throws that could have pulled the Warriors to within 6. Instead, he misses them, and Pittman hits the three at the buzzer just about, and IPFW goes into the locker room up 41-30. We'll be back in about 10 minutes to bring you the second half of the ball game, but don't go away because at halftime tonight we've got a special. It's Arnie Ball, the IPFW athletic director and volleyball coach, on the Coach's Corner.
Hi. There seems to be a ever-increasing problem in this country and in our country and in fact all over the world of kids and young adults abusing drugs and just taking things for no good apparent reason. Channeling your energies into something more positive. It doesn't go anywhere. Please listen, okay?
Welcome once again to another edition of Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Mark Bangert. With me, the IPFW men's volleyball coach, Arnie Ball. Welcome back, Arnie.
Thanks, Mark. It's nice to be here.
Of course, going into tomorrow night's match with Ball State, it's a very important match. It's the start of the MIVA season. We've already lost a couple of 5-game matches with them. What do you see trying to do differently that we haven't done so far in trying to defeat Ball State?
Execution. Good, solid execution in all phases of the game. The 2 matches you referred to earlier that we have lost to them in 5 games has not necessarily been the things that they have done to us, but the things that we have consistently done to ourselves to shoot ourselves in the foot, to allow them to gain an advantage. So we have to just pure and simple execute at a much more consistent level at all phases of the game.
I know, talking with a couple of the players after the most recent time we played Ball State, it seemed like the passing had sort of gone downhill, and it's tough to execute the offense when the passing goes.
Well, not only the last time we played them, but the first time we played them as well. The first time we played them, we were two games ahead, 2 games to none. Out at Penn State, we played them the last time, we were ahead 2 games to 1. Mm-hmm. And not only does the passing breaks down, but and of course when that breaks down, then the offensive consistency and the options that we have in our offense become very predictable. To Ball State's credit, when that happens, and they are a very good defensive team, and they keep the ball into play, and so the longer they keep the ball into play, the more their opportunity for us to make an error. And on top of that, in both of those matches, we had really great spurts or great plays where we'd stuff balls or we'd service ace or we'd make a real nice transitional play and stick the ball for a point, and then we go back and serve the ball in the net or out of bounds. And when you consistently do that at key times, it really deflates any kind of momentum that you had developed. You know, people ask me, no matter where I go, who have seen both or seen the first match in particular, you know, what happened? Well, the momentum changed, and in this game, when the momentum changes, you've got to be a really strong side-out team and a consistent team in all the skills of the game in order to come back and take the momentum back from the team who has gained it in that situation. We never were able to do that. And we've lost both those matches in 5 games in the rally scoring system, one 15-11, one 15-13. So it's not like they beat up on us or anything. We're right there. But when we get them in a position to be able to win, we have to take advantage of that and not be inconsistent as we have been in the past.
I know when we were up 2-0 in the first one, when the momentum had switched in Game 3, one of the things I had noticed is our defense had sort of gone downhill, and it seemed like they were digging all the balls and our guys were standing around maybe feeling, I don't know, it wouldn't seem like they'd be feeling the pressure after, you know, some of them have played Ball State 3 and 4 years.
No, and I don't think pressure has anything to do with it, you know, and there's this phenomenon out there that Ball State has this magical power over us, and that's a bunch of baloney as far as I'm concerned. It just becomes back to a matter of execution on our part. And you talk about our defense standing around, and that's probably true. We are an offensive-oriented team. Always have been ever since I've been here, and that's kind of ironic because as a player I'm kind of more of a defensive person than an offensive person. And an offensive team has to be very consistent in their ball handling skills. A defensive-oriented team sticks an arm out and brings the ball back over the net, or makes a great diving play and brings the ball back over the net expecting you to err. And that's what we've done. And as I said, we're an offensive-oriented team. We depend on our side-out offense to not allow the other team to score. And, of course, in volleyball, if you side out every time, you can't ever lose. And I keep telling the kids that, but we don't side out every time. The other thing is we depend a lot on our block. We have some size, and we've always been a pretty good blocking team, but when blocking breaks down, then our backcourt defensive skills are not real good. And so that's one of the things we've been spending a lot of time on, especially the last couple of weeks. One of the areas of the game that we have really got to improve on is our backcourt skills and our serving aggressiveness and our tactical parts of the serving that we need to do. And those two things are things that Ball State does very well, both serving and playing backcourt defense. And so they constantly, if we allow them to, they constantly keep that pressure on us. And as an offensive-oriented team, you would think that we would be able to handle that, and we have not gotten to that point.
I know going into this match, as far as key personnel changes, you've been able to rotate a lot of guys in this year, more than in years past. A lot of the guys off the bench could be starters. I mean, they're that strong. I know Neil Day has been doing great in the front row. he seems to be an excellent blocker, and gives us that added height and jumping ability in the front row. And as well as Neil, there's specific backcourt people like Mike Steiner, Paul Springob. You got Juan Ortiz who can pass. Are you planning on using them more in the match with Ball State? Are you staying mainly with the 6 starters that we've been going with this year?
A lot depends on the match itself, Mark, and as we watch the individuals play and with what kind of intensity and concentration they can stay in the match with, and if they lose some of that, then we may need to make some adjustments in our personnel. We have moved Fred back into the middle as compared to being in the opposite position that I had him last time we played Ball State, and he's going to stay there. Got to keep him there so him and Loy develop some continuity between the two of them, and that is beginning to come around. It also has allowed him to be in the passing scheme when Norman and Raul have some problems right now. Norman and Raul are doing all the passing for us. Tony's passing is getting better, so we're leaving Tony and Raul on the outside and putting Norman opposite with Tom and Fred in the middle. Neil certainly at this point is the number one middle off the bench. He comes in with a lot of intensity and a lot of enthusiasm. His best attribute is blocking, and he's a very strong young man, a very physical young man. Doesn't have a lot of endurance, and so it's difficult for him to play all the time. I don't know why, because he's physically very strong, but he seems not to have, maybe because he puts so much energy into playing, that he seems to lose some endurance. You mentioned Juan. Juan certainly, if we need someone to come in and pass the ball, will be the first one that we'll call upon to do that. And I have no problems with playing either one of those individuals at any time, whether it be starting or putting them in any time. Another young man who has really shown some promise in the last 2 weeks since we've had this time off has been Larry Fulgari. Not very many people know much about Larry. He's a 6'3" kid out of New York, but he's a left-handed kid. And yesterday in practice, he banged the ball in the back row better than anybody we have, including Fred, which is pretty scary. So there are some things that we're going to be looking at on down the road in regards to Larry's contribution to our team, and I think will have a real positive effect upon what we're able to do.
I know when the team wasn't able to play Guelph because they got snowbound in Canada, and they took on the ex-IPFW Mastodons, a group of players that used to play under you. Larry Fulgari and Quentin Spiegel both played pretty well. I know Larry seemed to hit the ball very hard, and then Quentin didn't even do too badly on the strong side.
Quentin's a young man that we're not sure what to do with right now. Quentin came in as an opposite player. He played that position at the Olympic Festival. He's played some middle. We think he could make a good swing hitter, but his passing skills are not very good at this time, and he's got to spend a lot of time at him. But what's pretty amazing about Quentin, yesterday in practice, Coach Johnson asked him to touch the top of the antenna. And I looked at Coach Johnson like, what's going on here? We don't have very many guys that can touch the top of the antenna. Boom, he jumped right up there and touched the top of the antenna. Now, he has extremely long arms, which helps be able to do that kind of thing, but pretty effortlessly. And he's a hard-working kid. He's a very intellectual young man. He understands what we're trying to do, but it's all new to him. And he just hasn't made the adjustment yet that we'd like for him to have made. So I got to look real hard for find a place for him. I was thinking about that just before coming over here today because of what Larry has done and what our options are with some of the young kids, Quentin being one of them. And we may slide him back into the middle just because of that jumping ability and those long arms, because that'd make him a good blocker in the middle against quick attack. So you're right. I mean, he's done a real nice job for us. Paul Springham's come in and done a nice job for us. We have more depth right now than we've ever had. Practice is very tenacious because the second team hates to lose to the first team and the first team hates to lose to the second team. So it's been a real positive atmosphere from that standpoint.
Well, I also feel that the thing with Ball State is probably not a big a deal as a lot of people are making it out to be. And hopefully when IPFW plays Ball State University, they'll be able to rectify their problems in execution and have a big match against the Ball State Cardinals and get that first win in the MIVA. For Coach's Corner, I'm your host, Mark Bangert. We'd like to thank IPFW's coach, Arnie Ball, for being with us for Coach's Corner. Thanks.
I don't know if you'll remember me, but I'll never forget you. I'm Mr. Signorelli's daughter. I didn't think about what would happen if he went into cardiac arrest. I didn't realize that at 6 a.m., a nurse would call the shots and save his life.
If you have the smarts and the guts to study biology, chemistry, anatomy, and psychology, call 1-800-962-NURSE. If caring were enough, anyone could be a nurse.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second half of tonight's IPFW basketball game against Indiana Tech. Right now, the Dons lead at 41-30 at the half. And Charlie, looking at these stats, about what we thought, the field goal percentage not real good by either team.
38% for Tech on 11 of 29 shooting, and 48% for IPFW on 14 for 29.
Didn't seem like the Dons shot that well, though, did it?
No, 48% is not all that bad, and it did not.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it did not look like they shot that well. What is keeping them in the ball game again is that three-point shooting, or on top in this basketball game in this case. 5 for 10 for IPFW, and only one shot taken by Indiana Tech, and they missed that one, so they're at 0% there. Free throws, 8 out of 12 for IPFW for 67%, 8 for 13 for Indiana Tech, 62%. Rebounds, IPFW, a big advantage on rebounds, 23 for IPFW, 14 for Indiana Tech. Fouls just about even, 13 IPFW, 10 for Indiana Tech. Assists are even, 7 for Indiana Tech, 8 for IPFW.
IPFW had 3 more turnovers, 10-7, so that helps when you don't rebound as well, like Indiana Tech. The key, though, Mike Pittman, 16 points. I don't think he missed a shot. He had 4 3-pointers and a couple of regular buckets, and he's been the difference so far. Here's the one right towards the end of the first half. The Dons were up by 8 at this point. It could have been 6, but Rex Carroll had just missed 2 free throws. So Tech had a chance maybe to only be down 6 at the half. And look at, nobody picks up Pittman. Bam, he just buries that jumper. And we want to apologize, too, real fast. We got some bad information on our rosters tonight. We've been calling number 40 Kenny Lewis for Indiana Tech because that's what was handed to us, when in reality, number 40 is Gil Farley. And Farley had 8 points in the first half off the bench. So, Mr. Farley, and if any of your Farley clan is out there listening, we do apologize, but that was the information we were given. Indiana Tech gets the ball to start the second half. We'll set the lineups for you as we go. Looks like we've got the same starting units for both teams out there. Richie Rutland has it knocked away by Clarence Rich. For the Dons, you've got Smithy, Rich, and Pittman in the backcourt. Doug Reinke, Sean Gibson up front. That is Pittman with the ball. And for the Warriors, it's Eric Ellis, Rex Carroll, Reggie Rutland, Matt Klaus, and Tim Hose. And the steal this time by the Warriors. Richie Rutland from the corner hits it. Rutland's got 12. He can heat up in a hurry, Charlie. He had 54 in a game earlier this season. That is an Indiana Tech record. So you know he can score some points in a hurry.
When you're averaging 25, to average 25 is not easy.
Smithy for 3, in and out. And Hose comes down with the rebound. 9-point lead for IPFW, 41-32. Rex Carroll passes up the shot, gets it over to Eric Ellis, back out to Carroll. Carroll pulls up for the jumper, no good, and Mike Pittman comes away with the board. Pittman in the corner to Clarence Rich. Get it back to Pittman, let him shoot. Now Sean Gibson's open, he hits the shot. And it's the Dons by 11.
Sean's first bucket of the night, Randy.
That is a strange statistic. But he really hasn't shot much. Warriors working around the outside. Rutland tries the three. He hits the three. Look out. Rutland's got 5 points in less than 2 minutes on 2-for-2 shooting. And Andy Piazza is going to send in Kevin Shank. I got a feeling Mr. Shank is going to play some defense on Richie Rutland.
And that was bad recognition by IPFW. And whatever defense you're playing, you'd better know where Richard Rutland is at all times. And that time, someone missed an assignment.
Jeff Smithy all alone inside, misses it, but Pittman with the rebound, and he makes it. Mike Pittman's got 18. Referee calls timeout. I think they want to wipe up the floor. We had somebody falling down there. And Clarence Rich goes out. Kevin Shank in. Dons lead it by 10, 45-35. And there goes the clock. 17:50 to go in the second half. Didn't start for a second there. Carroll stolen from behind by Shank, but he can't control it. Klaus gets cut off by Sean Gibson. Rutland way outside. Open for the three. Just short this time. And the rebound pulled down by nobody. And it's a jump ball. IPFW will get the ball on the possession rule. Rutland didn't miss that three by much either, Charlie. If he comes out, for most scorers and shooters, you hit your first 2 or 3.5. That usually sets the tone for the rest of the half, doesn't it?
There you go. And even if he had missed his first 2 or 3, he would not have been shy about sticking up 4 or 5 or 6 more.
Rutland didn't take that many in the first half. I've seen him shoot more, and he took good shots in the first half. That one thrown out of bounds by the Dons. Really, the ones that have surprised me is our Rex Carroll, very little scoring tonight so far, and Eric Ellis, very quiet.
And they've been very not tentative going to the basket, but just not aggressive or looking for offensive opportunities tonight.
There's Klaus, gets caught in the air, nowhere to throw it except to Jeff Smithy. He's grabbed by Rutland, no call. Nice no-look pass to Sean Gibson. Can't get it to drop, but Eric Ellis fouls him. I think Gibson's going to get a couple of free throws for this one. That is his third personal first-team foul. You know, we talk about, as we see the replay there, great pass by Smithy. But we talk about Richie Rutland averaging 25, which is outstanding, but Rex Carroll 19. That ain't chap liver either.
No, it is not chap liver.
But he's not scoring tonight, and Eric Ellis a dozen a game. That's not too bad. So you got 3 guys in double figures, but they're just not getting them tonight.
And this is definitely one of those basketball games that Rex can be effective in, but it is not a game that is textbook written for his type of skills. He likes that up and down, open court type of game, like the situation he's in right now.
So as opposed to Tex-Mex, we would have Tex-Rex.
There you go. The helter-skelter up and down game, that's the type of game Rex works the best in.
Sean Gibson hit 1 out of 2 on the other end. And the Dons lead is 11, 46-35, 16:45 to go. Doug Reinke thought he knocked it out of bounds, but no, Doug Reinke picked up his third personal foul. First team foul this half for IPFW. And John Hanstrider will quickly check in as Andy Piazza picks up 2 or 3 extra gray hairs.
Exactly. If Doug Reinke is in proper defensive positioning, he does not get that foul.
And you can see, as soon as Doug made it to the bench, Andy Piazza sits him down right next to him and says, "What are you doing there? Why are you going for a silly play like that? No reason, no reason." Doug arguing with the coach, and I can guarantee you who's going to win that argument.
That just earns you a couple more minutes right next to the coach.
Andy may not always be right, but he's always the coach. Tim Hose!
Explosive.
Hoses the IPFW defense there with the in-your-facial.
The drop step explosive move to the basket.
Dons lead it by 9, 46-37. Pat Murphy getting ready to come in, a little more muscle. Mike Pittman has his shot blocked, but it goes out of bounds and it'll stay with the Dons. Here comes Pat Murphy. There goes John Hanstrider, because they didn't like how he just got dunked over. And now Andy Piazza has something to say to Mr. Hanstrider on the bench. I guess that's why they call it coaching. Kevin Shank dishes it out to Smithy. Pittman has it kicked by Matt Klaus, so we'll get a reset on the shot clock. Just over 16 minutes to go in the second half. Glad you're with us tonight on College Cable Access Channel 6. Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington bringing you IPFW basketball as they host the Indiana Tech Warriors for the city bragging rights. Pat Murphy wheeling and dealing on the inside with the right hand. No. Eric Ellis loses it out of bounds. It'll stay with IPFW. You see, I believe that is number 32, I believe.
Victor
42,
Bush.
Victor Bush. Remember, we told you he had a contusion over the eye right towards the end of the half, and you see he's got it all bandaged up. I don't think we're going to see Victor Bush back in this ball game. Sophomore out of Indy. He's going to be a spectator the rest of the evening. Kevin Shank picking up the foul. Second team foul on IPFW. That's Kevin's first as he gets a little reach in there. Again, one of those fouls that'll just drive the coaches cuckoo. Cuckoo.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah. Cuckoo for guys who are supposed to play defense with your feet, not with your hands. And Charlie, all kidding aside, you and I both know that. A good defensive player is moving his feet, not his hands so much. Pat Murphy was open for the dunk there, but they couldn't pick up the ball. And Jeff Smithy now gets number 40, Gil Farley. Number 40 is Gil Farley. Again, we had him wrong on the roster in the first half. We were calling him Kenny Lewis, and we apologize for the mistake. Farley had 8 in the first half. Now, this is a good foul here. You see, they almost get the steal, and Murphy would have been wide open for the dunk. Smithy knows he can't handle the big guy on the inside, so make him earn the 2.
And what he did very well is made sure he did not get the ball up on the rim and almost get a three-point play.
Yeah, you see Smithy just come in and grab him, and that's a good play by Jeff. His first foul, team's third. So Smithy in no foul trouble. Farley at the line hits his first. He's got 9. He really kept the Warriors in the game in the first half off the bench. Second one bounces around, no good. Murphy can't control it, and there's Hose with his second dunk in the second half. And the Warriors within 640 with the reverse three-point play, making the free throw and then the bucket. Mike Pittman's got to start thinking about taking some more shots. Had 16 points in the first half, 4 3-pointers. We've got a foul underneath on number 40, Gil Farley. That is his third, team second. You know, we should have realized that number 40 was not Kenny Lewis because they listed him at 6'2". And Farley definitely a lot taller than 6'2". He probably goes about 6'6".
About 6'6", 230.
Large fella. Eric Ellis checks out Rex Carroll back in. Sean Gibson on the inside gets fouled by Jason Klein on the reach in. They may call that a shooting foul. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, they say that is a shooting foul. Good call. Sean definitely was making the move, getting the arm in motion and put the shot up. So he'll get a couple of free throws. Been a very quiet night for the Dons' leading scorer. What's he got, Charlie? 3, 4 points?
Sean is shooting right now for his 4th point.
And he gets it. He was our co-dandy-down player of the game on Saturday night against Bellarmine, along with Dwayne Shears. Of course, stick around because after this one ends, Charlie and I will pick another dandy-down player of the game, and Charlie will go down on the court and hear what that dandy-down has to say. 47-40, the Dons out in front right now. 14:40 to go in half number 2 from IPFW. Tech with the ball. Jason Klein wide open for 3. He swishes it. And Tech within 4. Tech has not been this close for about 20 minutes. 47-43. This one getting awfully close. Each rivalry game is just about always like this, Charlie. You know, it's a cliche, you throw out the records and all that garbage, but they usually are a lot more hotly contested. Great pass, Mike Pittman. The no-look wraparound to Tony Martin for the chippy. Dons back up by 6.
And on the paper, of course, Randy, this is a game that the Mastodons are supposed to win, but Tech, every game, comes here and gives the Mastodons more than they want.
Rex Carroll jumped up. He wanted to make the pass. Tim Host thought he was shooting, went for the rebound position, And Hose walks over there now and apologizes for not looking for the pass. He said, Rex, you're right. I would have been wide open, and I was looking for the shot. Uh-oh, there's Mike Pittman getting into it with Jason Klein. Mike Pittman's hoping to get a job for the Globetrotters. Don't think it's going to come, but he's putting on his audition tonight anyways. Rex Carroll that's Kevin Shank sneaking inside there.
Kevin Shank out of Carroll High School.
That's right. Sort of getting convoluted there. Hose with another strong move to the basket. Really picking up the pace in the second half. Don's lead is 6, 51-45. On Gibson up top, down to Tony Martin. Wheeling and dealing against Hose. Nowhere to go. Clarence Rich back into Martin. Jump hook, can't make it. Hose strong on the rebound. Well, I don't think Clarence Rich has scored tonight.
No, he has not. He did score one free throw.
I don't even think he's taken a three-pointer. Richie Rutland gets fouled by Mike Pittman. I believe that's going to be the second personal on Pittman. It is his second. Team's fourth. And the Dons take a timeout here. Richie Rutland, Pittman put the chest into him, and they rightly call the foul on Mike Pittman. 51-45, 12:57 to go in the second half. Charlie, the momentum seems to be shifting a little. The Dons were up 11 at the half. Now it's 6. And you have mentioned many times the pace now more towards Indiana Tech's favor. One thing we'd like to remind you, the College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming. Receive your free Channel 6 program guide. Send your name, address, and zip code to
College Cable Access Center at IPFW Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805-1499.
Or if you'd like, you may phone us at
481-6582.
That's right. Now, Charlie, we were just talking about the tempo of the game. It's picking up when it gets helter-skelter. Advantage Warriors.
And right now, Rex Carroll has not been in this basketball game very much at all, and he's their second scorer at 19 points per contest. And if he gets into this basketball game and gets a breakaway dunk one way or another, these Indiana Tech Warriors are going to be into this basketball game and feeling it. And they do have probably a crowd advantage right now.
Yes, we have a huge contingent from Indiana Tech, and they are whooping it up because that's what Warriors like to do. They definitely do some whooping. These aren't dances with wolves tonight. These are dances with Dons. Rutland for three. No good. Oh, that would have been a big one if he made that. They're going to get Tony Martin for following Gil Farley. Boy, Rutland came out, hit his first 2 shots of the second half, and it was like Katie barred the door, but he's missed 2 3-pointers since then. That would have been a huge basket if he made it. Martin picked up his second personal. 5-team fouls on the Dons. They are getting some serious trouble. Mike Pittman kicks it. So the Warriors get the ball out of bounds and a new shot clock.
This game going a lot like the first basketball game when the second game of the season against these Indiana Tech Warriors.
Klein for three. Misses this time. He just hit one earlier. And it's Mike Pittman pulling it down, but he double dribbled. Boy, he had Tony Martin and Kevin Shank wide open on the other end of the court. And I think his eyes lit up on that one. He took that extra bounce. Tech with the ball again. Chance to cut into the 6-point lead. Oh, bad pass. Tim Hose had Richie Rutland open, but he threw the ball way behind him. The Dons get the turnover. Mike Pittman against Jason Klein. That's Tony Martin in the corner. Kevin Shank driving inside, dishes it to Martin, passes up the open shot. Back out to Mike Pittman, 20 on the shot clock, through the legs of Klein. Sean Gibson with the left hand, no! In and out again. But he got fouled. Mike Pittman doing what has become his favorite play, to do the bounce pass between the legs of the defender. Normally he gets, here you'll see it. See Jason Klein guarding him right through there. Normally whoever he gets the ball to dishes it right back, and Pittman will take the three. That time Gibson went strong to the basket. Couldn't get it to drop. He picked up the foul, third on Tim Hose, 4 team fouls, and Gibson hits the first free throw. Second one is up, and that one's perfect. Dons stretch the lead out to 8, 53-45, 12 minutes to go. Almost stolen by Pittman. Jason Klein gets it across the timeline. In the corner, Rutland will try the three. Rutland will make the three. 18 points now for Richie Rutland, and he almost gets the steal on defense. Indiana Tech within 5, 53-48. Eric Ellis coming in for the very quiet Rex Carroll. At least quiet so far, Charlie. Sometimes that has to worry you.
Yeah, with a player like Rex, he'll be back, and down the stretch, he'll be in there.
Sean Gibson way short on the three, but Tony Martin, a strong rebound, and the bucket. Big, big play there by Tony Martin. 55-48, IPFW on top. 11 and a half minutes to go. Good ball game out here. Especially this second half has really been intense. Rutland way out, looking for somebody to go to. Maybe looking for a pick. Hitting a shot here this second half. Ellis open underneath, gets the bucket. That's a 5-point game, 55-50, 11 minutes to go. Indiana Tech trying to force the pace this half. Sean Gibson inside with the left hand off the glass. Sweet move by the sophomore center. There's Ellis inside. No good. They're going to get the foul on Tony Martin, saying, huh? Didn't touch him. Martin's got 3. 16 fouls on IPFW. I'll tell you, somebody got Ellis there. You could have picked Gibson or Martin for my money. Doug Reinke coming back in now. Setting the lineup for you. Ellis, who has the highest arcing free throw that I have ever seen. This is the first. For IPFW, you've got Doug Reinke, Sean Gibson underneath. Dwayne Shears probably at a forward as well. Clarence Rich and Jeff Smithy are the guards. For Tech, you've got Jason Klein, Richie Rutland, Eric Ellis. Number 40 is Gil Farley, and 44, Tim Hose. Clarence Rich tries a three, makes the three. Clarence, where's that shot been all night? Don's up by 9, 60-51. Once again, Charlie, we're seeing, though, an IPFW guy score a lot of points in the first half. Mike Pittman with 16. We have played 10 minutes in the second half, and he's yet to score a point.
He did have two quick points early.
Oh, did he? I didn't think he scored. Jeff Smithy way outside, over to Reinke. He's looking inside for Sean Gibson, who's now open for the layup. Clarence Rich with a good pass. Sean Gibson giving Tim Hose a lesson in post play. And Indiana Tech's going to get a much-needed timeout. That lead is back up to 11 for IPFW, 62-51. 9:52 to go. The momentum shifting back a little now, Charlie.
Again, now it's taking a little longer for IPFW to score the points, and that's a good strategy. Whenever they make these Indiana Tech Warriors play the defense for over 15 or 20 seconds, they get good shots.
And I think we on the floor are going to see the cheerleaders spell out Dons, perhaps. Great pass. Look at Clarence Rich to a wide open Sean Gibson. Gibson just felt Hose on his back and just gave him a little spin move, and there was no weak side help. So Hose got hosed by his own teammates. We want to remind you to tune into Channel 6 this Sunday evening at 7 o'clock to watch taped replays from February 14th. That was Valentine's Day if you were out with your Valentine. Well, the men and women of IPFW both played that night. At 7 o'clock, the Lady Dons meet the Lady Norse of Kentucky State University. At 9 o'clock, the Norsemen of Kentucky State challenge the IPFW Mastodons in Great Lakes Valley Conference action. It's right here on Channel 6 this Sunday evening, beginning at 7 o'clock. How do you think Dan Klein is going to change up the offense now for the last 9:52 of the game, or is it the defense he needs to be concerned about?
Well, if I'm Dan Klein, and if I remember the first basketball game against the Mastodons of IPFW, or if I know my team as well as I think I do, I'm going to try to open this basketball game up, get my players some quick shots such as Rutland and Carroll for starters, and then open up a game on the defense end and get that helter-skelter that I want, that I play so well in.
And Rex Carroll is back in, but Jason Klein picks up the offensive foul. Now, one thing, Charlie, I think the Warriors would like to press a little more than they have tonight, but they haven't been shooting well from the field, only 38% in the first half. And if you're not making shots, you can't press, and that really kills your defense, doesn't it?
Exactly, because when you do make the shots, the Mastodons have to get the ball out of the net, take the ball out of bounds, and that gives you time to set your defense up for the press.
That was a third personal foul on Jason Klein, 5 team fouls. Once again, Sean Gibson open underneath for the layup. Sean, all of a sudden, starting to pile up the points after not having many in the first half. He might only had 1 in the first half. Dons have the biggest lead of the game now, 13 points, 64-51. Rex Carroll all the way across court to Jason Klein, who loses it out of bounds to his dad, the coach of Indiana Tech. There you see him right there. And Klein and he and Sean Gibson laughing about something.
I think Sean told him good catch on that pass.
Doug Reinke over to Dwayne Shears, who has not scored tonight after going over 20 against Bellarmine Saturday. Sean Gibson posting up against Rex Carroll. Gibson has the big advantage there, but he can't make the shot, and Carroll gets the rebound. Here's that running game. Carroll going right in on Dwayne Shears. Can't hit the jumper, and Reinke pulls it down. And they are going to call Doug Reinke with an offensive foul there. I think we need to give an Emmy to Mr. Rex Carroll, or an Oscar. You watch the movies, it's an Oscar. TV, it's an Emmy. Watch this rebound here by Doug Reinke. And I don't think he touched Rex Carroll. Doug Reinke has picked up 4 personals, and that is 17 fouls. IPFW. Tim Hose, who's been making dunks, says, I'll try the layup this time. He should have dunked it because he missed it. Clarence Rich open for 3, takes it. Not even close. Dwayne Shears can't control the rebound. Richie Rutland starts it the other way for the Warriors. Nice pass underneath. Eric Ellis. Good. Lions lead is 11, 64-53. We're approaching the 8-minute mark here in the second half. Warriors are going to make a run. They've got to do it in the next couple of minutes, or it's going to be too late. Lions using a little clock here. Shears will try the 3, no good. And Hose pulls it off quickly to Rutland. Drives the middle, puts it up, no good. But they've got a blocking foul on number 23, Dwayne Shears. That's his third. 18 fouls on the Dons, so they are over the limits. But that is going to be a 2-shot foul for Mr. Rutland regardless. Jason Shears lying on the floor, in pain for a couple of reasons. It hurts when somebody runs into you, and it's even worse when they call a foul on you. Rutland makes the first free throw. He's got to be getting close to 20 points now. We check with the Statomatic computer.
Real close,
19.
right at 20. He's at 20.
That's perfect. 21 for Rutland.
21.
Closing in on his average of 25 a game. Lions lead is now 9, 64-55, 7:45 to go in the ballgame. Sean Gibson in the corner underneath the Honstrider. Can't make the short jumper, and Hose pulls it off for the Warriors. Now it's Rutland. Over to Klaus. Knocked away, but Rutland comes up with it. Underneath for 2 more. 23 for Rutland. And the Warriors trail by 7, 64-57. 7:15 to go. Honstrider inside. Nowhere to go. Out to Smithy for 3. Smithy hits a big bucket there. Dons go back up 10, 67-57. And Eric Ellis throws it out of bounds. IPFW gets it back.
Jeff Smithy might want to look for some more three-pointers himself. He's shooting over 46% from three-point land.
And what the heck was that? Sean Gibson with the pass to Clarence Rich, and he just dropped it out of bounds. That's something you see every day, Chauncey.
And again, those were the quickest hands in the West.
Yeah, too quick. So quick we didn't see him touch the ball. Richard Rutland doesn't want the shot. Rex Carroll wants the three, way short. That's more like it. Clarence grabs the rebound. Sean Gibson working against the zone. And they're going to get Eric Ellis for going over the back of Clarence Rich. That'll be the 6th team foul on Indiana Tech, so no free throws.
A matchup the Dons might want to go to, Randy, is the Rex Carroll-Sean Gibson matchup. Even though Rex Carroll has long arms and can jump out of the gym, he is no match for Sean Gibson on the block, as he's just replaced right now by Gil Farley.
So we don't have to worry about that matchup. And number 24, Eric Ellis, has 4 personal fouls. I think Ellis was the man who was supposed to come out because he's got the 4 fouls. Because now we see Rex Carroll getting ready to check back in. Sean Gibson muscles inside for 2. And the foul. Don's taking control of the game again in the last couple of minutes. Sam Long and Rex Carroll, both number 33s, checking back in the lineup. Jeff Smithy out, and Eric Ellis with those 4 fouls sits down. Foul there on Matt Klaus, his first, team 7th. Gibson at the line with the chance to complete the 3-point play, and he does. 70-57, Dons by 13, and the ball goes right through Farley's hands, and Dons have it. Kevin Shank in the corner to Pittman, but Rex Carroll knocked it out of bounds. Maybe the ball's a little slick, Charlie, because we saw Clarence Rich drop it out of bounds and then it go right through Farley's hands a couple of seconds later.
It could be.
Nah.
Bad hands.
Mental mistakes. You got to concentrate. You know, it's the easy pass. It's sometimes the toughest one because you're not thinking about it. Mike Pittman with the short jumper, no good. Honsider tips it but can't control it. Farley's got it underneath to Rex Carroll. And he gets hammered by John Honstrider. A fan walking behind us loudly lets us know that it was a foul. Carroll will go to the line and shoot 1-and-1. 2 personals on John Honstrider, 9 on the team. 6 minutes to go in the second half. Dons lead it by 13. There you see the replay. And Honstrider got his money's worth.
And some on that foul.
Rex missed his last 3 free throws. Gil Farley right there to put it in. Trim the lead to 11, 70-59. Sam Long loses the ball out of bounds. Thought he might lose his spot on the floor for that one.
Sometimes coaches give you a little vote of confidence in hopes that you can perform or react to that in a very positive way. And that could be what's going to happen to Sam Long.
Rutland from the corner for 2. They say it's a 2. His foot was on the line. Rutland over his average now. 70-61. Dons lead it by 9. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the ballgame. Kevin Shank tries a 3. I don't know about that one. Honstrider pulls it down. You might want to run a little more clock at this stage of the game if you're IPFW.
But at this point in the basketball game, you have to run the clock. That is what, well, actually, that's what any team would want you to do, take a quick shot. But in particular, this Indiana Tech team wants you to put the ball up quick so they can get in and run with it.
Shank will be at the line shooting a 1-on-1 foul on number 20, Matt Klaus, his second, 8 on the Warriors. Pat Murphy is checked in for John Honstrider. Shank misses badly, and Farley with the rebound. Tech can hit a 3-pointer. It'll be a 6-point lead for the Dons. This one far from over. With just over 5 minutes to go in the ball game. There's Rutland trying to three. Just misses. Rex Carroll, great rebound. Went over Sam Long and Kevin Shank to pull it down. Farley inside, doesn't get it, but gets hammered. Gil Farley really playing a great ball game tonight, even though we called him Kenny Lewis for the entire first half. Again, if you were watching, we had number 40 as Kenny Lewis on our roster that we were handed. Then at halftime, we found out, no, number 40 for Indiana Tech is Gil Farley, who you see at the line shooting two. Missing the first. Sean Gibson now has 3 personal fouls. Yeah, Sean and Pat both got him. Your basic sandwich there. Sam Long goes out. Jeff Smithy in. Get a little better ball handling out there.
This is a very small Indiana Tech team, but they crashed the boards with reckless abandon.
Farley hits that second one, cuts the lead to 8, 70-62. Under 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Glad you're with us on College Cable Access Channel 6. Randy Schiffman and Charlie Washington bringing you IPFW against Indiana Tech. Stolen away. Farley wide open. Doesn't get the layup to drop, but there's Rutland on the rebound. Blocked by Pat Murphy. Big defensive stand by the Dons there. Looked like they were giving up 2. They come away with the ball. Pittman inside, decides let's waste some more time on the clock. Good idea, Mr. Pittman. Timeout. Andy Piazza wants to see his team a little more under control at this stage of the ball game. 4:18 to go. Dons lead it by 8, 70-62. Want to tell you that the next live sports event here on Channel 6 will be telecast this Saturday evening. That's February 23rd. Join us for exciting Great Lakes Valley Conference basketball action when the Lady Eagles from Ashland University come to Fort Wayne to challenge the IPFW Lady Dons at 6 o'clock. Then at 8 p.m., the number 3, I believe it's actually number 2 now, and before the game, Andy Piazza told me they moved up to 2 in the latest poll, the Ashland Eagles. The IPFW's Mastodons, that's this coming Saturday evening at 6 and 8, right here on Channel 6. Charlie, it'll be interesting to see that game Saturday night. Of course, last Saturday, the Dons knocking off the then number 6 team in the country, Bellarmine. Maybe this week they can put the number 2 head on the nail.
Exactly.
Put them up there.
The Ashland team can be beat. They've been beaten by Bellarmine and by Kentucky Wesleyan, so they are not invincible. They can be beat, but the Dons have a little more immediate thing
Indiana Tech
on their mind right now. Yeah, the Indiana Tech Warriors. So they have to get this win, and then they'll be on a 3-game winning streak and with the chance to go in and knock off those Ashland Eagles.
One of our younger Don fans at the ball game of Andy Piazza, I think, telling his kids, I want 25, 30 seconds run off the shot clock every time down, unless you've got a wide open layup.
Exactly. That's what we tell them.
And reminding them to play defense. You got to play defense to win. You're talking about invincible teams. I think there is one in the country. The Running Rebs of UNLV. Dons almost throw it away there right after the timeout. Smithy for 3. He hits it. Big three-pointer by Jeff Smithy. Dons up by 11, 73-62. Rutland does not get the runner. Farley no good, but he's fouled by Pat Murphy. Dons lead it by 11, 73-62. Exactly 4 minutes left on the clock in the second half here at IPFW. Charlie, you think UNLV is unbeatable this year? I mean, I know every team can be beaten, but do you think anyone will beat UNLV in Division I basketball?
I don't think so. But when you get in that tournament, anything can happen.
Crazy things happen.
And you just think about it. Ball State last year, and basically that same basketball team could have beaten them.
Ooh, Farley misses 2 there. Big, big misses. Though last year, Ball State had Paris McCurdy and Curtis Kidd. Those were 2 pretty fair college basketball players. Sean Gibson inside. No, but he gets fouled. And those were 2 big misses by Farley. Indiana Tech blowing a lot of opportunities at the free throw line tonight. Sean Gibson will go at the line, and he will get 2 free throws. First one's good. 4 personal fouls now on Tim Hose. Sean Gibson with the second. That one is good too. Sean Gibson, a huge second half. He has carried this team since intermission. Dons up by 13 now, 75-62. Rutland out of the corner, no good. Tip, no good. Gibson with the rebound, and Pittman's got it now. Pat Murphy. Pat Murphy gets it to fall. Oh no, they're going to call for the offensive foul. Clearing out with the left arm. Strong move by Pat. A little too strong perhaps. 3:17 to go in the second half. Dons up by 13, 75-62. Pat Murphy's got 2 personal fouls now, so he's in no danger. Jason Klein back in for the Warriors. So is number 33, Rex Carroll. Inside Farley with the left hand. Good. It's an 11-point lead. Under 3 minutes to go. Smithy's got 3 to get it across the stripe, and he does. But Jason Klein is really all over him on defense. Smithy with a wild drive to the hoop. Doesn't make it. Rutland coming back quickly the other way. Pulls up for the J. In and out. Sean Gibson adds to his multitude of rebounds this year. Smithy almost gets the carry. Now it's stolen away. Jason Klein has it. Rex Carroll with the pick. Rutland says, I won't make the 3, but I'll try the 2, and he hits it. And the Warriors call timeout. And it's down to a 9-point lead, 75-66. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. It's a crazy game again tonight, Charlie. Crazy.
Very crazy game.
It looked like the Dons had the game in hand, and all of a sudden, getting close again. And we'll be back in just a minute. Bringing you IPFW against Indiana Tech college basketball, setting the stage for you. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the ball game. IPFW in front right now, 75-66. The Dons have the ball. Dwayne Shears has checked in for the Dons. He's joined by Sean Gibson, Mike Pittman, Clarence Rich, and Pat Murphy. Mike Pittman against the press. He gets it across. Now look for IPFW to run a little clock. Inside, over to Pat Murphy. And they're going to call Richard Rutland for grabbing Pat Murphy. I think Coach Piazza telling him that once you get stuck inside there, Pat, pass it back out. Just keep the clock going. The clock, IPFW's ally right now. Exactly 2 minutes to go in the ball game. This is your 2-minute warning. Murphy with 2 free throws, hits the first. Both teams over the 10-team foul limit right now, which means every free throw or every foul will be a 2-shot foul. Richard Rutland's got 3 personals, and Murphy's got himself a couple of free throws. And the Dons an 11-point lead, 77-66, under 2 minutes to go. Rutland for 2, his foot was on the line. It's only a 2, his right foot was on the line. Rutland closing in on 30 points. His team is down by 9, 77-68. Mike Pittman fouled by Rutland, that's his 4th. And Pittman will go to the line and shoot 2. Does Tech have any other option than fouling right now, even though they get 2 each time IPFW?
Right now, there is no other option, and now it's coming into play what that rule was designed for, to try to omit some of the silly fouling at the end of basketball games by giving the opposing teams 2 shots as opposed to the old rule and the 1-and-1.
And there's Mike Pittman, one of our favorites for the Dandy Don player of the ball game. Of course, we'll be announcing that in just a few minutes. The much coveted Dandy Don player of the game. I heard some of the players talking about it tonight. All saying, hey, I'm going to get it. Well, I'm going to get it. Pittman hit them both. 11-point lead. Rutland with the 3-pointer. And it's down to 8, 79-71.
32 points.
Now Jason Klein intentionally fouls Mike Pittman, but I don't think they're going to call that an intentional foul. That's the one rule that they put in, Charlie, to try to get the silly fouling to stop. But they still don't call intentional fouls unless it's a breakaway.
Exactly. They still give the same leeway as they have been given in the past without the 2-point rule and, the automatic foul and the ball out of bounds plus
right.
2 free throws.
That's for our fans who don't know it. If you get called for an intentional foul, the guy who is fouled gets 2 free throws. In this case, it would have been Mike Pittman, and the team that was fouled keeps the ball. So you don't want to ever commit an intentional foul. Pittman hits 2 more. He's over 20 points now, and the Dons lead it by 10, 81-71, under a minute 20 to go in the ball game. Klein gets it over to Carroll, who can't control it. Off of Rex's hands, out of bounds. That could be the turnover that decides this ball game.
Exactly. If you're Tech, you have to convert. You have to convert all of your possessions and hope that IPFW misses their free throws.
Sean Gibson could not get the ball in bounds, so he coolly calls the timeout. That's the good move there. Dons don't want to give the ball up. Leading by 10 with 1:16 to go. 81-70. That's where experience comes in. A lot of your younger players there, Charlie, they get flustered and they'll throw the ball in and they'll throw the ball away. Sean Gibson knew he was getting close to a 5 count, and he quickly called the timeout.
Exactly. Sean, very calm, cool, and collected ball player. Came in playing that way as a freshman last year.
And surprisingly, he hasn't hit the floor about 15 times tonight. The taped replay of this evening's IPFW basketball game, well, it'll be shown on Channel 6. Where else? Sunday evening, the 17th of March, beginning at 7 o'clock, just a couple days after the Ides of March. At 2, Charlie? I'm working in all my little whatevers tonight. Homilies or something like anecdotes. Dan Klein, if you're Dan Klein now, who are you telling your team to foul?
Well, with this lineup in the ball game for IPFW, you have to go for Kevin Shank. Kevin Shank or maybe Pat Murphy, even though he sank just a few moments ago, very coolly went to the free throw line and sank 2 shots.
You want to forget about Pittman and probably Rich. And Sean Gibson also a good free throw shooter. There's Murphy, and there's the foul. And they get number 40, Gil Farley. That's his 4th. There you see Gibson with the pass, and there you see Farley with the foul on Murphy. Pat will be at the line shooting a pair. Tell you, he's earned his playing time the last couple of days.
Yes, and in fact, he's probably played more or just as much as either Hans Strider or Doug Ranke tonight.
I mean, this is the first one. Now, see, I passed one up there. I could have said, just like Smith Barney, he's earned that playing time. So I spared you that one. Murphy's second free throw, way short. Maybe he is the guy to foul. Here comes Rutland. He might pull up for the 3. He does. That's too strong, and Mike Pittman comes out the long rebound. Down court quickly to Gibson, who gets fouled by Ellis. It'll be interesting to see if they call that a breakaway intentional foul. They do not. If the referee crosses his forearms and holds him up, that is a signal for the intentional foul. Eric Ellis has fouled out. There you see Gibson got grabbed underneath by Ellis. Sean, after a very quiet first half, Charlie, where's he up? Around 15 points now?
Right around 15 points.
Sean picked up a little foul trouble early in the game, so he didn't play as much in the first half as he usually does. He had 2 early on. The line shooting 2. And Matt Klaus is going to come in for Eric Ellis. You get a minute to make a substitution. And Klein taking that full minute for his Warriors, getting him a little breather.
Excuse me, Randy. Sean is shooting for his 18th point. He has 17 points on the night.
Strong second half by the sophomore. It's going his way now. He gets that one to bounce in and for the 12-point lead. Here you see a nice shot as Ellis grabbed him right on the arm. It wasn't an intentional foul, but he did go for the ball, so he made it look good. And Gibson with the 7:20, or actually that was a 5:40, around once and a half. Be a 5:40, gets them both. Dons lead it by 12, under a minute. Rutland with the three that goes in and out. Scramble on the floor, Farley gets fouled. Might get Clarence Rich with that one. That's the man they get. That's his third, and Farley will be at the line shooting two. See, Rutland way outside for the three, just rattles it, no good. Thought for a second, Charlie, that the officials were going to call a jump ball there. Ball was on the ground for a long time.
A tough break for the Dons on that, for the Tech Warriors, for them to get two shots out of that scramble.
And for as well as Farley has played tonight, and he has shot very well from the field, he just could not buy a free throw until that one finally switches when he had missed 4 or 5 in a row. 50 seconds left in the ball game. IPFW leads it by 11, 83-72. And some of the fans starting to head for the exit as Jason Klein fouls Clarence Rich. Talk about your quiet ball game. Clarence Rich, 4 points tonight, a three-pointer and a free throw.
You got it.
And he's a guy we usually expect 15 a game from. Jeff Smithy coming in now for Kevin Schenk for IPFW. No, for Mike Pittman. Mike's hungry. He's eating his uniform right now as he runs off. Rich will shoot a couple. Tim Hose comes in for Jason Klein, who has fouled out. That's 2 Warriors who have gone over the limit. Clarence Rich good on the first free throw. And Seabiscuit misses the second because he was fading away from the line. Rutland for 3 again. Strong rebound, Rutland. Cross court stolen by Clarence Rich, who gets fouled by Rex Carroll. Little frustration in that foul, Charlie.
Exactly. Rex has never gotten off tonight, and you have to get Rex Carroll into the basketball game if you're going to be successful, if you're an Indiana Tech fan. Rex Carroll is a great complement to the type of basketball game that Richard Rutland has, and tonight Rex has just not gotten off at all.
That was a tough cross-court attempt of a pass by Richard Rutland. He got caught in the air. He wanted to take the shot, and he got caught. He had nowhere to go but to get rid of the ball, and that was just too far to throw a ball when you're falling down. Rich gets the steal. You know, Rex Carroll had a couple of shots early on that went in and out, and if those had fallen, it could have been an entirely different ball game for him. Because as you well know, a shot or two makes a huge difference when you're a scorer.
Here he goes.
Rich hits them both. Dons have their biggest lead now. 14 points, 86-72, just 37 seconds left. Clarence will sit down for the rest of the night. Sam Long comes in. We may not see any more fouling the rest of the way. Well, intentional foul. Tony Martin gets Rex Carroll there. That's 4 on Tony. Carroll will be at the line shooting a couple. Well, Charlie, 31 ticks left. Believe the game is in hand for IPFW. Shall we announce our dandy Don player of the ball game?
Well, I guess we might as well, Randy. My vote goes to, I think the first half of play kind of dictated this ball game, and Mike Pittman played a fantastic first half of basketball, and therefore I'm going to give him my vote for the Dandy Don player of the game.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. He had 16 points in the first half, including a three-pointer with about 5 seconds to go in the half. That turned it from an 8-point lead to an 11, and that really made a difference going into the locker room. And he's made some big free throws down the stretch here. He's played a very heady floor game. Sean Gibson had an incredible second half. As good a half as you're going to see. But we're getting tired of giving it to Sean. We've given it to him a couple of times this year. So we'll call it a co. 51% Mike Pittman, 49% Sean Gibson. Jeff Smithy hit 1 out of 2. Kevin Shank with the rebound and a basket. Now it's 89-73, Dons by 16 under 20 seconds to go. And you can put this one in the left-hand column for the IPFW Dons. They'll go to 13-10. And Indiana Tech will drop to 17-7, I believe. A couple of seconds to go. Tony Martin will get the last shot off. Oh, and he gets hammered by Matt Klaus, and we almost see a fight there. 2 seconds left. Tony Martin took it in strong, and Klaus says, "Not on me, big guy, not on me." Tony Martin will get a couple of free throws. There you see it. Woo! Klaus got him and then some. And now they're laughing about it. These are the kind of things that happen during a ball game. You get excited out there, and sometimes you do things, and you look back on them later and you go, "Is that me who did that?" It's happened to anybody who's ever played. Charlie Washington now heading down to the floor where he'll get a chat with Mike Pittman as soon as the ball game is over. And now they're saying that that was either a flagrant or an intentional foul. So Martin will get a couple of free throws, and the Dons will keep the ball. Tony, bing! Gets the good bounce on the first one. See a 17-point lead for IPFW now, but believe me, this was a much closer ball game all the way. 18 points now, 91-73. They call it the intentional foul. Dons keep the ball. Just 2 seconds to go, so IPFW will inbounds it, and that'll be the ball game. There it is, and that's the ball game. Smithy throws up the three at the buzzer. No way. And your final tonight. IPFW beats Indiana Tech for the 5th time in a row. 91-73 as the players shaking hands on the floor. Andy Piazza and Dan Klein exchanging pleasantries. Dons again up their record to 13-10. Indiana Tech now 19-8 on the season. I had it wrong there a minute ago. I think I said 17-8. Indiana Tech 19-8. Still a terrific season for the Warriors. And in just a couple of minutes here, we're going to go down to the floor where Charlie Washington will be talking to our Dandy Don player of the ball game, Mike Pittman. Mike over 20 points tonight, 16 of them in the first half, and he hit 4 3-pointers. And he was really the difference out there the first 20 minutes of the ball game, keeping the Dons going, though Mike didn't get any blocked shots tonight. I was kidding him. One game he had a couple of blocked shots. And I said, "Oh, that must have been the first one he ever had in his life." And he came up to me and he said, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I've had blocked shots before." And he still won't let me forget that one every time I see him. So sorry, Mike. Hope this makes up for it a little tonight as we call you the Dandy Down player of the game. And you see the final there, 91-73. Richard Rutland had a huge game and for Indiana Tech. And we'll be back in a minute with Charlie Washington and Mike Pittman.
Every day, 143 elephants are killed for their ivory. Every day. In 25 years, all will be gone. Buy ivory and you kill an elephant. It's that simple. Write the World Wildlife Fund, Washington, D.C.
Tony had some drinks, a few joints, and got into a fatal accident tonight. Only he doesn't know it yet. Drugs make you forget. And if you forget how risky sex can be, you could catch the AIDS virus and not know it for months, even years. AIDS, another way drugs can kill.
Good evening. Charles Washington along with our Dandy Don player of the game this evening, Mr. Mike Pittman. Mike, you scored 22 points tonight. You got a bundle of those in the first half. How'd you feel going into the second half? You didn't take as many shots.
Yeah, going into the second half, I knew they were going to be guarding me a little bit tougher than they were starting the first half because of the way that they reacted to the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game whenever I was able to get some open jumpers and my jumper was feeling pretty good. So I knew that the defensive pressure would be there. I just had to keep it in my mind not to try and force things.